On the campus of UCLA, some heated interactions today at an encampment created by pro-Palestinian protesters. They are calling for a ceasefire in Gaza and for the university to end all funding connected to Israel. KTLA 5's Chip Yost live in Westwood with more from the students there. Hi, Chip.
Yeah, hey there, Lou. We just got a new statement from UCLA explaining why they are approaching this encampment the way they are, as we've been talking about, much differently than the way USC approached the encampment over there. Let's show you for one over here. The encampment, as we talked about yesterday, they put up some makeshift fencing around this encampment yesterday, but today UCLA put some extra fencing, this metal fencing over here in place. They said they wanted to put that up there for safety reasons. So the protesters have basically taken physical control inside the encampment. You see right over here, there are some Jewish students we talked to a moment ago. They've been up here leaning against the fencing, kind of looking in, seeing what's going on. And if you go a little bit to the right over here, this is kind of interesting. They're controlling access, as we've been talking about. They are trying to control who is allowed in, who is allowed out. If you are not allowed in, given their standards, if they don't give you permission, this is what happens. Let's show you what happened during our 1 o'clock live shot. A gentleman, the man in pink, tried to go in there without permission. He got surrounded by a bunch of people. They started following him around. There was a bit of a standoff, if you will, at one point as they were trying to herd him out of the encampment. He just sat down and there was kind of a standoff, and it seems they've reached some sort of truce. A little bit later, after all this happened, we saw him walking around, and it seems like they were leaving him alone, and he even shook a couple people's hands inside. I don't know what his motive is, why he's here, or why that happened, but he was surely trying to make a statement that he's allowed in there, just like the protesters are allowed in there, even though they were trying to stop him from going in. Now, as far as the protesters, how long will they be here? They say they're going to stay here until their demands are met. They have put a number of demands up on social media. Among them, they want the UCLA Foundation to divest from Israeli investments. They also want the university to cut off ties with Israeli universities. Those are some of the demands they're making. We spoke to one of the folks here at the protest. They have a media check-in. It's kind of organized. They have certain people they're designating to talk to the media on behalf of the protesters. We asked one of the protesters here about some of the concerns about some of the Israeli students on the other side of the fence and others who believe that the people here are using hateful rhetoric and calling for the extermination of the country of Israel. We also asked about October 7th and whether or not she believed the October 7th attacks were justified. And after that, we got some response to her comments from a Jewish man who works nearby. But first, let's hear from that woman who's a spokesperson for the encampment. You condemn what happened on October 7th.
Again, I am focused on the 34,000 people who have been killed by Israel in Gaza.
You don't condemn what happened on October 7th.
I'm not here to speak about
that's
that.
a simple, you think what happened was justified. Children, babies, families being killed in their homes.
I'm not here to speak about that today. I'm here to speak about the ongoing genocide in Gaza and the fact that 34,000 people have been killed.
We talked to one of the protesters and asked her if she would condemn what happened on October 7th. She wouldn't. On the flip side of that, do you feel for some of the people in Gaza for what's happening there?
Every human being is a child of God. Everybody has a godly part in themselves, and the moment we start seeing the godly side in everybody else, then we won't have these problems anymore.
Now here's the statement UCLA gave us. It says in part, UCLA's approach to the encampment is guided by several equally important principles: the need to support the safety and well-being of Bruins, the need to support the free expression rights of our community, and the need to minimize disruption to our teaching and learning mission. It's also important to note that we are following University of California's system-wide policy guidance, which directs us not to request law enforcement involvement preemptively and only if absolutely necessary to protect the physical safety of our campus community. As we come back to a live shot, you can see there are still a number of people here at the encampment. How long they'll stay here, we don't know. As you heard earlier, we said they told us they're going to stay until their demands are met. We'll see if that happens, if it lasts that long, and if their demands are ever met, we'll have to find that out at a certain point. I did talk to some UCLA students not involved in this at all, and they did say that their classes were going on as scheduled today, though they thought that some of the classes closer to the encampment might have some online options for students instead of going through this area to get to their classes. For now, reporting live here at UCLA, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.